Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, ImperialDane. And today I have for you a 1 versus 1 on Angoville, yes indeed, and apparently some people feel like, well, they've had the introduction quite enough, so I'll just for once try and see what happens when I don't do the sort of introduction to the map, sort of explain how it works, and sort of figure that perhaps people watch some of the older casts and perhaps get faster on to the actual fighting itself, who knows? Although I'll probably get some sort of complaint, as there's always someone complaining about something. That's the fun part, isn't it? Either I'm not casting enough in my own games, or I'm casting too many of my own games. Either I'm casting too many high-level games, or I'm not casting enough high-level games. Or this and that. It's always fun to see what people will find the problem with, and of course I can only do what I can. So, nonetheless, a 1 versus 1 on Angoville, nice map, and who shall be fighting? Well, here in the northern corner, we are seeing Hellahriman of yes indeed, no, not quite but the 4th Infantry Division. Opposing them shall be, yes indeed, our friend ImperialDane of the 2nd Panzer Division, ready to show the Americans who is the winner here in this fight, and who's the proper soldier. Down in the south of the Angoville, which is not potentially the most favorite position for me. But let us get right to it, eh? Of course, no introduction of the map. 2nd Panzer Division versus the 4th Infantry Division. 2nd Panzer Division not so heavily equipped, for example, did not actually have any Panthers, had to do with a lot of Panzer IVs of varying marks, that is stages, that is some were older, in fact some had armored skirts, some did not, and so on. Quite a few things right there. We are seeing a dual engineer start from our American friend, barracks up, Wehrmacht quarters going up down here, ready to provide some Volksgrenadiere. And at the same time right here, of course, I'm not exactly have a fontsman for this area. Of course, again, it's a pretty damn hard thing to hold, but of course you can try with a bit of barbed wire until of course someone decides with some engineers to cut their way through and then begin harassing. But of course that's taking your worries a bit too quickly on, but still a bit of barbed wire can help, and that's what I do then, or at least I've decided to do. Basically wire it off, then proceed to take points, which seems to work a bit better. Volksgrenadier is ready, and what is this? We are seeing a jeep right off the bat from our friend Hellahriman. That could of course mean he's probably figuring on some sort of strategy of disruption or tactic, that is, he's running around and then being a nuisance to my pioneers, probably. Of course, I rather swiftly spot something's going on here, and thus move my Volksgrenadiers towards these to intercept this 4-wheeled nuisance. The Wilson's jeep with a light air-cooled 30 caliber machine gun, Browning as well, opening up on the pioneers. Pioneers quickly getting into the building. Of course, this will make it harder for me to seize territory, and of course also note our friend here is going straight for the fuel. He's probably not expecting to hold all of the fuel points, but he is probably expecting to sort of harass me and be a nuisance. Again, this sort of rather aggressive boldness, and of course using the jeep to sort of disrupt my own capturing of territory. So we can definitely expect something sneaky to go on there. 2nd Volksgrenadier team on the way though, and we'll probably be seeing a rifleman team soon from his side. Pioneers coming out, engineers coming under fire. And keep moving in to stop the Volksgrenadiers engineers under fire. And running away. Fuel point has been secured and is connected, although for how long I cannot say. Jeep comes under fire. Further Volksgrenadiers arriving. And Jeep is getting shot up. Meanwhile, engineers also mucking about here with some pioneers on the other side. Jeep going away. Half health, and Volksgrenadiers immediately begin seizing territory. Further Volksgrenadiers moving up. And of course I'm rather quickly realizing I'm going to have to pummel or place most of my resources here. For some reason, again, I had to stop the jeep, and now all of my Volksgrenadiers here, so of course I have to ensure that I can hold this area. Of course means I have to take the less favorable side, that is the less open one. Volksgrenadiers opening up on the riflemen, firing away with all glee and fervor for the fatherland. And further riflemen are ready from the barracks. Pioneers forced away from the east. Pioneers securing what they can there. Some Volksgrenadiers beginning to lay down sandbags again to sort of prepare some heavy cover where there's normally any, and again thus giving me some slight advantage right there. MG42 on the way as well, ready from the Wehrmacht quarters. And the jeep getting ready again. Perhaps I might want to lay down some bar wire here so against the enemy can't run up to the sandbags and use them for himself, in particular in this sort of situation. But a nice bunch of Volksgrenadiers Heavily clumped around the fuel point. Further rifleman getting ready. The jeep as well. He's probably going to get something sneaky on the way. But mines there to sort of prevent if anything goes wrong here, that he can just run in here. And there we go, charging in the rifleman. MG42 moving up. And for some reason it's not sitting up, and I'm sort of occupied right here, so sort of forget about it. But rifleman getting cut down, but so are the Volksgrenadiers. Riflemen are now up close. One rifleman team down to one man, might be cut down. In fact, will it happen? No, the damn rifleman gets away. Jeep continues to be a nuisance. Volksgrenadiers taking quite a bit of damage, but so are the riflemen. Quite a fight right here. A skirmish, a brutal brawl. Volksgrenadiers not doing too well. The riflemen are not doing too well either, but they're certainly doing better to the riflemen. Better than the Volksgrenadiers. Pioneers doing a bit what they can as well, getting a few kills as well. 3 riflemen dead, and the MG42 still hasn't decided to do anything. Absolutely stupid. Hans, have you been drinking again? But now it's setting up, or at least luring in, and there we go, luring the jeep into the mine. Riflemen trying to take back that fuel point, coming under fire. Engineers moving in through there, and there we go, opening up on the rifleman. 1 down. Will he survive? Yeah, there we go, retreating. MG42 fire blasting away. Volksgrenadiers getting trained, heading towards the west, trying to seize what they can there, while others are getting reinforced. Might as well ensure again that even in case something goes wrong here, I might at least be able to begin securing something in the west again. Don't try to ensure that you don't get sort of caught up in one side and then things go wrong there, and then you absolutely have no territory. So pushing through with the Volksgrenadiers in the west, which will currently be very open, trying to ensure the point safety here. Volksgrenadiers marching in, MG42 also moving in to support. And of course things are looking a bit dicey here with the building right there he can use. But of course that doesn't mean everything is bad. I could of course, for example, lay down some sandbags here. MG42 joining in the fun here as well. Riflemen getting suppressed. Engineers running away. Sandbags to protect the MG42. And further riflemen ready. As well it seems, although some are getting reinforced. These chaps are running into the building again, coming under quite a bit of fire, pinned, but as soon as they get into the building, they exit that state, it seems, but then trying to get out again, and now getting shot up once more. Again, the difference of sandbags can really make quite a difference in how much you can actually do with your forces and how much they can survive. So again, I'd certainly recommend sandbags if you can, in particular since you're the Wehrmacht, and your Volksgrenadiers can lay down those pretty easily. Of course, we have that singular team right here doing a bit of harassment, thus cutting off the Americans from the other fuel point. And we are seeing a supply yard, so of course, having seen no grenades or BARs, we're probably going to have to expect, at least or let's assume, he's going for the M8 armored car. MG42 advancing here. Volksgrenadiers moving out to seize some territory. Volksgrenadiers in the west coming under fire as riflemen advancing on the unfortunate 2nd Panzer Division Volksgrenadiers. Well, I suppose they would ask that's Panzergrenadiere, I suppose in this case. And a bit of engagement right here. MG42 opening up on the rifleman. Volksgrenadiers firing off as well. These chaps might want to move up to support. Again, always try to support your Volksgrenadiers. Of course, these chaps are not doing too well again. They are on their own. Supply yard is up there, certainly going to help with his manpower upkeep. But of course, if he's going for a motor pool, that's probably going to also get him that very soon. Engineers apparently having not seized this territory before, having been a bit too fast on getting the fuel. And of course I might spot them and then begin using them as targets. Creek barracks is up, Pack 38 on the way. Mine down there, so I'm having seen those fuel points being under his control for some time, I'm rather worried about our M8 rush, and more particularly the type that involves running straight up to your creek barracks, laying down a mine, so when your Pack 38 pops out, it's going to get blown to bits. Mines being laid down though by the American commander as well, seizing what he can here in the west, while I'm pretty much doing my best to fortify the east. A bit of barbed wire here to prevent any sort of direct flanking attempts on my MG42. Right there, engineers forced away via the Volksgrenadiers. This point having now been mined, so if they try to sneak through there again, they're going to hit it. And Pack 38 is ready. Volksgrenadiers marching out. Riflemen getting ready, and of course here's another thing I've done here. Why is that? Well, that's partly based on experience. Let's just briefly pause so I can quickly get that over with and explain it in detail. Well, once upon a time I had sort of managed a nice defense on the east. Then I noticed my opponent could slip through right here, and as you might notice, let's just briefly show here, that's a pretty big gap in your base defenses. And while this is not a permanent solution, on the other hand, if he's not expecting it, it's certainly going to help a bit with, protecting yourself against a direct base assault. So again, that's also one of the reasons I prefer the western way. At least here the MG42 can sort of protect these, and yes, there's still that with flamethrowers, but still that requires a bit more effort, whereas in here, he can pretty much just waltz into your base and have a party. That's not how you want things to be done, but nonetheless, I figure that's also another reason to sort of try to focus more on the west than in the east, but then again, if you have to focus in the east, barbed wire right here, perhaps a mine as well. So there you go, learn from my mistakes and my bitter experiences. Volksgun is pulling back, of course I'm rather worried that something might be happening here. And there we go, hitting the mine, Pioneers sort of nearby, MG42 will have to be pulled back, Volksgun is as well, Rifleman advancing, and the motor pool is on the way. Pack 38 blasting away, Pioneers forced away by the Rifleman Engineers with flamethrowers. Rifleman rather realizing they can't really do much there, Pack 38 just hammering away. Grenadier on the way. Could probably represent some more proper Panzer Grenadiers, I suppose. Volksgrenadiers moving in, and of course again, nice piece of heavy cover there for my troops. Rifleman advancing from the north, getting shot up by the MG42. And Rifleman getting into that building. Rifleman looks like they might be trying to move through here and sneak up there. Volksgrenadiers, and there we go, Grenadiers ready. Further Volksgrenadiers arriving, although these chaps are looking awfully wounded, 4 men, but they are incredibly low on health. Further Volksgrenadiers moving up, keeping those Riflemen down there. Pinned down, Rifleman here getting torn up by the MG42. Riflemen moving in from the rear. Volksgrenadiers and Grenadiers moving in for the hunt. Riflemen, though, themselves getting cut up. A bit of light cover here protecting also the Volksgrenadiers rear. That's quite a nice bit there. But now the Volksgrenadiers and Grenadiers are moving in to support the other Volksgrenadiers, causing heavy losses for the Riflemen. Quite a bit of vicious infantry fighting going on here, actually. Quite vicious from him. I mean, we're seeing some really good, you know, attacks, some very aggressive ones moving about, and that, of course, is a bit of a trick there. Again, note, I didn't throw it at the building, I threw it at the door. Of course, he can't see if I'm targeting the building or the door, so he leaves, and then the grenade goes off at his feet. So again, a little trick there. Something I hope some will benefit from. And there we go, having caused the Riflemen some losses, although they have disrupted my supply lines. Pioneers moving about with minesweepers, seizing points. More Grenadiers ready to counter the American presence, and there we go. M8 armored car, Trier center going up. Some rather heavy losses for the Americans, 4 infantry teams, but they've quite brutalized at this stage. The M8 though will help. Grenadiers moving forwards. Just to run into that M8, not good at all. We'll have to retreat. And of course, what do I do with my Pack 38? I can't cover, of course, everything, so do I want to sort of try to cover what my approach into here? Or do I try to keep it here? But then again, there's this problem with the bocage. It can essentially move in through here. Of course, you can mine it and then run behind. So there's a lot of things you have to take in mind. Pioneers now being forced away by the 8. And looks like some engineers got cut down by Grenadiers, with Pioneers and Volksgrenadiers in support, breaching that area, and again sort of keeping him off his foot. Always try to sort of push into your enemy's territory, always try to take some territory and try to sort of spread him out, because again, even if you can't hold it, it's certainly going to focus him away from your main territories, from your main point. And of course, this is currently what I describe as my Schwerpunkt, right here with the barbed wire sandbags. Of course, everything else, this is pretty much where I'm hinging all of my defenses, all of my plans. If this falls, I'm pretty much fucked. And yes, I did say fucked, so my apologies. Volksgrenadiers for Grenadiers supporting right here. Riflemen charging ahead. Engineers with flamethrowers as well. Riflemen getting shot up. Grenadiers getting burned up. Oh dear. One catches on fire. Stahlgranate goes off on the Riflemen. Grenadiers need to retreat. And so do the Volksgrenadiers. Riflemen getting shot up though. So are the engineers. Other Pioneers trying to see some point here, cutting off the munitions. Volksgrenadiers under heavy fire, getting actual fire as well. My goodness, and now the M8 is moving in. Greyhound on the prowl, and oh dear, with the Volksgrenadier light. No, he did not survive. He was instead blasted to bits. Quite tragic. Grenadiers watching this point. Again from this very nice, conveniently placed piece of sandbags to actually cover this point. And now Riflemen moving in from the north, coming under fire from the Volksgrenadiers. BARs on the way. Browning automatic rifle. Pioneers running away. Sturm Armory up. And there we go. Riflemen moving in. Finding in themselves they can't run straight for this strategic point. And that again was sort of the point with this piece of barbed wire, thus forcing them to run straight at the Grenadiers if they want to survive this. And the Grenadiers lobbing a grenade at the Riflemen, causing some losses. And the Grenadiers far away most gloriously. thus forcing the riflemen to run away again. And again, this is sort of a trick you can also do, basically wire off your point, so they actually can't just run at it, and thus actually have to move around it, and of course into your line of fire. Barbed wire has quite a few applications, try to find them all. And our Volksgunners are flanking the riflemen right here, who have using some of my sandbags right there. And the riflemen are taking quite a bit of fire right there, but further riflemen are advancing for Uncle Sam. Pioneers moving forwards, all the minesweepers in fact, Grenadiers also moving in. And mate doing a bit of nastiness to my Volksgunners, forcing them away. And some few riflemen as well doing a bit of work here in the west. And these chaps are still guarding this area. Sturm Armory is ready and something on the way. I can tell you that's a Stug 4, as I want something a bit more armored. Something that could scare my opponent a bit, plus deal with that M8. Pack 38 opens up on the M8. Panzerfaust as well hitting the rear. Main gun destroyed. Another shot and then M8 can be gone. Or that mine, for example. Riflemen under fire from Grenadiers hiding in the bushes. And the M8 makes a run for it. Pack misses. Bother. Rifleman getting reinforced again. Quite good for him, although he is taking quite some losses, not quite achieving anything. Though a weapon support center is on the way. Riflemen hiding inside the building now under fire as well. And forced to run away under the threat of Volksgrenadier and Grenadier fire. While the Pioneers are once more securing this area. Sturmgeschützvier moving in. And Volksgrenadiers moving towards the west to do a bit of work here again. No doctrine as of yet from our friend. And rifleman getting ready for some work in the west, it looks like. M8 getting repaired. What shall he ever do? Of course, a tree ascender would be nice with all those riflemen, although now he's getting grenades, so a pretty heavy approach with the infantry. Although still only 4. Though he does have an M8. On the other hand, I do have several buildings. I do have some good positions, some nice barbed wire, sandbags and all that. Although that can of course easily change. Volksgunners is moving in, forcing away the riflemen from there. Although more are moving in. And certainly an armored car would help for me to sort of deal with all of these things in a slightly more mobile fashion. Riflemen advancing, still no doctrine. Volksgunners retreating, rather realizing that fighting against riflemen like that is folly. Panzer equipped for the Grenadiers to help against M8s. Small fighting here. Riflemen under fire from several points. Volksgrenadiers from here, this crater. Grenadiers from here by this small garage. And a grenade getting lobbed at the Grenadiers. Of course, alerting me to the fact that he has it. And a mine goes off. That was probably my own. Causing some losses to the Grenadiers. Armored car moves in, opening up on these two riflemen teams who are without means for dealing with this threat. Rifleman getting shot up. Still no upgrades for the supply yard or a medic station. That could certainly help and prepare him for the longer fight. Still no doctrine choice either. And of course at this stage I was actually sort of wondering what sort of doctrine had my opponent gone for. But there we go, infantry. Of course I was worried again he might have gone for the armor and then sort of rushing straight for a Pershing as possible. Or as much as you can rush for a Pershing. In which case my Stug and Pack 38 might come into short. Riflemen advancing with engineer support. Volksgrenadiers retreating. Grenadiers also pulling back some slightly more defensible positions. And some tank traps right there to sort of limit the movement of my opponent's armor. And of course, sort of force them into the Pack 38. At least I sort of hoped. Puma being sent towards the east. Or the heavy armored car, Schwere Panzer Spähwagen. The Puma was the version upgraded with the 50mm gun, which was actually taken from another project. That was the Leopard reconnaissance tank, but which was cancelled. So the turret was pretty much just slipped onto the heavy armored car, and thus the Puma was born. Rifleman advancing. Still nothing really going on from his side. Rifleman throwing grenades at the Grenadiers. One down. Rifleman taking quite some losses. Sturmgeschütz und schwerer Panzer Spähwagen delivering the fire of the fatherland onto them. And looks like the Grenadiers are moving towards the west with some Volksgrenadiers. Riflemen moving towards the center. And a bit of reinforcement going on there. A bunker going up there. Probably going to see a medic bunker sort of help with me in the longer term again. A medic bunker upgrades for the supply yard, veterancy for Wehrmacht, medic stations, all that. That's sort of thinking for the long term. You know, veterancy helps your troops survive longer in most cases for the Wehrmacht. Medic station, of course, helps you decrease attrition, that is the permanent loss of men, whereas you can recover the wounded with medic stations and medic bunkers. And of course for supply yard, that helps decrease the upkeep and of course increase veterancy. So a bit the sort of same like the Kampfkraft Center, I suppose, in a sense. So all important things to note. Mines being laid down here, of course, that is one of the abilities of the infantry company or doctrine. That is defensive operations. Of course, hoping to lure me into this piece of cover and of course blow myself up in the process. Laying down some sandbags here to create a sort of defensive position for the Panzer troops to fire away from, but the M8 cares not about that with its 50 caliber machine gun, causing quite a bit of a mess, forcing my troops away. Another Pak 38 ready. Why am I doing this? Well, in case, as you might have noticed again, this area is sort of open. He could attack my base, of course, break through here. So I'm setting up this Pak 38 to basically cover this area. And a 57mm anti-tank gun is ready. Munitions point being secured. Armored car sneaking about, fully repaired. For some reason, I've not actually decided to lay down some sandbags and perhaps advance the MG42 to cover this area. That would be a pretty nice move, oddly enough. And that's actually a bit of a curiosity, because he's not actually used his weapon support center yet. I mean, he's built it but not used it. That's a bit like, you know, building the Kampfkraft center and then not using it. I mean, you shouldn't build buildings and then not use them. That's a waste no matter what way you turn it. And of course, good move here, laying down mines and of course seizing points, thus making it harder for me to react. And even if I had to retake it, of course I'm going to run into a mine. So good harassment, of course. The armored car makes a bit of a mockery of that. Plus Volksgrenadiers and Grenadiers moving in, Pak 38 moving in to set up to cover against the M8 and the Stuke 4 coming under fire from the 57mm anti-tank gun. Fun fact about that, it was actually a British anti-tank gun. And there we go, LMG 42 for the Grenadiers. Figured I might as well again try it. I need to test it out, as I said out, and I will. So there we go, firing away Grenadiers with rifles and one with an LMG 42. So far I'm not really seeing much from there. 10 kills already though. But I've been coming under quite a bit of fire. MG42 also joining in the fun. Grenadiers being forced away though by the overwhelming riflemen. And I do believe it's actually time for the mid-game analysis. My apologies for this situation. Well, I'm rather under pressure in all areas. In fact, most of my troops are in fact back at base reinforcing, which is not entirely good though, but still I'm holding on to most of the victory points and slight advantage, I suppose, in some points of territory, although this is otherwise actually pretty much equal. I just hold most of the victory points. Our American friend though is suffering a bit, but he's still pushing onwards, although one rifleman team has in fact been cut down by the glorious soldiers of the 2nd Panzer Division, and looks like an armored car might soon go down, although an American armored car was lost as well. And there we go, 2 BARs drop. That's pretty much the tombstones of the infantry team which did not make it out of there alive. And of course, what can our American friend do? Well, of course, he needs something a bit more heavy, something to support his infantry when making the attack. A mortar would be nice, perhaps. Some smoke cover, for example. Or just regular bombardments. Of course, the anti-tank gun will force away my armored vehicles, making things a bit easier for him. Otherwise, of course, an assault here would certainly also prove as a distraction against me, and of course force me to divide my forces even further. Of course, all those things are quite viable, and of course a supply and upgrade is good, but I would like to see a medic station for him to sort of pick up his own wounded. Of course, I'm doing so as well with my own medic bunker. Of course, I am quite under pressure, but still holding. So far, of course, I might need something else to sort of really keep the edge, and of course I need to still keep pressing on here to sort of force him to divide his forces. But let's return to me, and I have gone for terror. Yes, indeed, the terror of the fatherland being used against the evil armies. And there we go, Grenadiers with the LMG-42 running back to base. Victory point being seized by the dastardly Americans. And Rangers have arrived to lead the way, bazookas in hand and all that. That's only going to prove a bit of a problem. LMG for heavy machine gun, though, catching these riflemen, but the riflemen flank about. That's less than good, since there's absolutely nothing to really protect here. The Stuke 4 cannot do much. It's also quite exposed. Further Grenadiers arriving. Panzer Command on the way. Grenadiers and Volksgrenadiers quickly moving in to try and salvage what's going on here. Pack 38 rather exposed. Sturmgeschütz trying to get out of there. Pack 38 will not survive. MP40s being equipped for some of the Volksgrenadiers. BAR picked up by them. Some others. And they hit a mine. That was a bit tragic. Pack 38 knocked out. That was quite tragic. Grenadiers advancing. Volksgrenadiers might also want to move in. LMG 42 finding way. Grenade going off at the Grenadiers, killing 2. Grenade going off on the Rangers. LMG 42 tearing through the rather wounded Rangers, which they seem to actually be doing a decent job at. Riflemen also being shot up a bit. Volksgrenadiers moving in. Grenadiers keeping things nicely under wraps. Riflemen under fire as well. The LMG 42 gunners also moving in. How shall this work out? Apparently the LMG 42 is all run against retreating infantry. MP40 equipped Volksgrenadiers coming under quite a bit of fire. Actual fire as well. Riflemen with BARs and the Volksgrenadiers might want to get out of there. Grenade! Oh dear! Volksgrenadier team is lost. Quite tragic. Although a propaganda war does force the riflemen away, keeping things slightly safe. Grenadiers might want to pull back while others are moving forwards. And a Knights Crossholders on the way. Yes, indeed. For some reason, I want actually not to go straight away for the Panzers. I want some Knights Crossholders, some tougher infantry to sort of annoy my enemy a bit, since he's also going rather heavy on infantry. And for some reason, I feel like using it. Yes, indeed. Sometimes I just use a unit because I feel like I want to use it. And I'm actually not getting an officer for this match for some reason, though again I need to test them up further, but there you go. Medics pulling back the wounded. Could see another Grenadier team right away there. That would certainly help my forces. Volksgrenadiers advancing there. Stu getting repaired. Grenadiers under fire. Not looking too good. Have to pull back. But most of the victory points, in fact, under my control. Rangers moving through here. Grenadiers have been informed, and the Knights Cross already with their nicely lovely skins, thanks to again to the skin pack I'm using. Looks much more like veteran elite troops. And Grenadiers forced away. Rangers now equipped with submachine guns. Still no attempt though at a medic station from our American friend. Engineers moving forwards. Veterans 1 for these engineers. That's actually quite decent. Grenadiers coming under fire. Again, some sandbags here earlier would have been nicer to sort of keep things supported here. But now the Knights Cross advancing. Grenadiers with LMG-42s also as well. Also note, the LMG-42 doesn't fire unless you're standing still. And the Knights Crossholders advance, firing away with a Sturmgewehr 44.
The Americans are capturing a sector.
And victory points being seized there. Volksgrenadiers hiding here.
Yes,
Second BAR has actually not still been picked up, interestingly enough.
ready to punch back the Yankees.
Anti-tank gun pulling back and securing what I can here. LMG-42 hiding in here. With the rest of the Grenadiers, Volksgrenadiers forced away from the west. The west is currently still mostly American territory.
Attention. The enemy advances.
Not quite to my liking though. Kampfkraft Center finally going up. That probably should have been up a lot earlier. And Ritterkreuz reporting they have captured the point. And a large assault going in. Several riflemen, Rangers pulling out the LMG-42 gunners, because I note that actually, I believe. And LMG-42 firing away. Quite a bit of fire, and assault grenades being used by the Knights Cross. Stunning. The riflemen and the Rangers. Knights Crossholders firing away. Grenadiers retreating, though they might not make it out of there. They did not. LM-42 gunner firing away, supporting this mess. And then retreating as well as the automatic fire, simply too much for them. And again, for some reason, I really ought to have placed some sort of defensive position and then advanced the LMG-42 to cover this area. But again, I haven't. Quite the frustration for me, because I keep thinking to myself, do it, Dane, and then I forget about it. But now the Panzer Kampfwagen 4 is on the way. Stug 4 opening up onto naughty Yankees. Mine down there, actually, or going down. And now getting pressured on all sides. This is not quite what I want. Volksgrenadiers and Grenadiers advance. barbed wire there to deny him the cover. Grenade getting lobbed at the Volksgrenadiers. Grenade getting lobbed at the riflemen, causing heavy losses to them, forcing them away. Engineers sort of hanging about as well. Pioneers seizing what they can from here, taking quite a few losses on all sides, but I'm still causing him quite some losses as well, which of course is to my advantage, and of course that's going to slow down his advance. That's going to make it much harder for him to actually take any area. And there we go, Panzer Kampfwagen 4 ready.
Yeah, ready. What are your orders?
Listen up. The enemy
That's crossholders and all that getting reinforced.
Yeah.
veterans seek gain.
Veterans C1 on the way, gives them a bit of first aid capability. Panzer Kampfwagen 4 advancing onto Rangers. 3 down with 1 hit, absolutely nice, very good. Riflemen hiding over here in the extreme flank.
Ready, Grenadiers.
Also would like to note I have used some inspired assaults earlier for some, I believe, quite good assaults on him, rather causing him some heavy damage as well, although again I'm not sure if I noted what the effect was on the LMG-42. One thing I very much would like to see how it actually does. Under the effect of Sturmgeschütz 4 advancing, Grenadiers and Volksgrenadiers support LMG-42. Oh dear, heavy machine gun though, cleared up by a grenade. Riflemen under heavy fire. MG-42 needs to get recruited, and running straight into the mine. Knights crossholders tearing through the riflemen, grenades getting exchanged. And the Knights Cross need to get the devil out of there. Riflemen completely slaughtered though. Small victory for the fatherland. LMG heavy machine gun firing away here. Riflemen not doing too well, nor the engineers. Sturmgeschütz still there. And Panzer Kampfwagen 4 ensuring the west is in the hands of the 2nd Panzer Division. And there we go, off-map combat group. What does it get? Anti-tank gun, tank destroyer, riflemen, and a mortar. That's going to be a nice helpful combination. Of course, all for the low price of 800 manpower. He's getting quite a bit more than that. So that's certainly going to help him quite a bit. Troops once more getting reinforced. Armor Veteran C1 on the way. Grenadiers once more advancing.
Grenadiers, they're ready.
For the fatherland.
Yes, comrade.
Once more holding this area. Now mortar rounds beginning to bombard this area. Not quite a happy situation for me. Tank destroyer looks like it's going to do something in the west to support these Rangers. Actually, some of them not fully reinforced, interestingly enough. And assault going in. Grenadiers with LMG-42. Coming under quite a bit of fire from riflemen though. And can't really stand still for too long either, because then the mortar will get them. And an inspired assault, in fact. And the riflemen come under quite a bit of fire. Cut down, in fact. The other team also advancing. Grenadiers with MG-42 away. Fighting here as well. Fighting on all sides, in fact. And of course increasing the rate of fire and the damage. The riflemen and Rangers are simply getting torn apart by all the automatic fire. Knights cross-shoulders firing away, assaulting, stunning, killing, murdering for the fatherland. Panzer Kampfwagen 4 joining in the fun as well. Grenades thrown at Grenadiers right here. And another Grenadier team ready from the medic bunker. Knights cross-shoulders absolutely slaughtered. Oh dear. Veteran C3 riflemen, but at least an LMG-42 was not dropped. That's would have been quite the headache though. If a rifleman team ever picks up an LMG-42 and it's Veteran C3, you might as well be having John Rambo on your hands. In which case, the only thing that can save you is a King Tiger or another Tiger, for that matter. Riflemen, though, forced away by the presence of the fresh Grenadiers from the medic bunker. M10 flanking the Panzer 4. Pack 38 moving in to support. And there we go. Knocked out. Grenadiers holding the line here, forcing away the Americans. Mortar team heavily wounded. Anti-tank guns also getting out of there. Stuk 4 not really advancing though. And Grenadiers pulling back to seize the territory. Riflemen moving forward. Still not a lot of infantry left. Again, a medic station probably would have been a nice choice for him. Again, if you have a lot of infantry, get a medic station or a medic bunker if possible. I know it can be hard to sort of get it at all times, but It can help you quite a bit if you place it properly. In meanwhile, Grenadiers advancing once more, 25 kills. Of course, question is how many are LMG 42 kills and how many are rifle kills. Still, the LMG 42 seems to have done alright. Grenadier down, Stuke 4 advancing. Rifleman getting blasted to bits, LMG 42 opening up. Rifleman down to rifle fire grenade getting lobbed. And 27 kills for this Grenadier team. Certainly not bad, no matter what. And the support units moving in to keep this attack going. Rather have to pull back since there's no infantry to support. And Rangers heading westwards while the Riflemen are heading eastwards. That seems a bit to be thinning out his already rather depleted forces. I'm not entirely sure that's a good idea. Lots of Grenadiers here. MG42 now advancing just to cover this area. Sandbags be damned. Riflemen under heavy fire. Mortar rounds flying. Panzer checks as well. Riflemen are possibly dying. Königstiger ready to be sent in. Grenadiers forced away, leaving behind only one team and a Stuke 4. In the west, Rangers are pushing forwards. Panzer 4, though, punishing them for their audacity of attacking Svaziland. MG42 supporting. Grenadiers moving in to support as well, keeping the rear of the Stuke safe from Riflemen. And a Nebelwerfer has been prepared to provide some heavier firepower. Only 127 victory points left. And anti-tank gun advancing. Königstiger Tiger 2 is ready. Schwere Panzerabteilung 503 providing it. Moving forwards. Thick sloped armor and a high velocity 88mm gun. Opening up on the anti-tank gun. In fact, another Grenadier team has been reformed. Absolutely excellent. Grenadiers holding the line there. And tanks focusing on the anti-tank gun. Rangers not much of a threat. And artillery going in on the position though. Grenadiers picking up a bazooka but forced to retreat. 2 down. Oh dear. Panzer 4 not looking too well. Tank destroyer getting salvaged. Panzer 4 simply getting hammered by bazooka rockets. King Tiger though firing in support. And Grenadiers running into the building to fire upon this position. Grenade lobbed, but doesn't do much damage. And inspired assault, encouraging German soldiers to fire extra hard at the enemy. And there we go. Another assault beaten back. Although things are certainly looking a bit better now than they did previously. Interestingly enough, he hasn't actually been using much in off-map combat groups. For some reason I thought he'd done more. And again, for some even more curious reason, he hasn't used his weapon support center at all. That one really confuses me, as I never thought he actually had one. So that was actually what you'd call a pretty huge waste of resources. I mean, building a building and then never using it. Not good. And mind you, Hellahriman is actually a rank 12 American, so he's not exactly a complete novice. Another off-map combat group. Heavy machine guns. It seems several of them. Another rifleman team and a tank destroyer more.
Our enemy has only 25 points left. We are crushing.
Sandbags being laid down.
Eyes on ears, children.
To wipe both machine gun sections with a bit, although. And there we go, rifleman advancing, heavy machine gun setting up right there. Sturmgeschütz opening up. MG42's firing away on the unfortunate rifleman caught up in this mess. And a grenade flying at the heavy machine gunner. M10 not quite feeling keen on moving through here in the west where the King Tiger surveys its domain. And there we go. Our enemy is short on victory points. And the fight is lost. The 4th Infantry Division has to pull away from the onslaught of the 2nd Panzer Division. So, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this match. If you did, why not subscribe or tell your friends? And if you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own? And of course, the important bit is, what can we learn from this? What did we learn? Well, one of the primary lessons, of course, was sandbags and barbed wire can really make a difference in holding the area. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's suffered much more heavily in several cases if it hadn't been for sandbags being placed out here in the open, or barbed wire for that matter, sort of protecting me, ensuring that my enemy just couldn't easily run up to me, or for example take points right here. Such things can make quite a nice difference. The sort of medic bunker also quite helped a bit, allowing me to recover several grenadier teams. The LMG-42, I'm still a bit undecided on it, although it seems to have done better than the Panzer team, and that was out a lot earlier, so it seems to be doing something right. Inspired Assault, quite a useful ability, although you have to sort of temper it, and of course not using it at the worst time possible. Then again, it can do quite a bit, of course. Supplied upgrades, nice, although he probably should have gone for it earlier. And a medic station, definitely. He was a bit too keen, but then again, he was pretty good, you know, attacking from all possible approaches, and that was certainly very close for me in sort of having to actually contain this and actually succeeding in containing his assaults. Otherwise, things would have actually looked much more grim for me. Good usage of mines as well from his side, and of course not bad usage for me either. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, why not subscribe or tell your friends. And of course, one more thing, don't build a building unless you intend to actually use it. It's a waste of resources. Otherwise, that's 180 manpower it could have used for something else, for example a supplier upgrade. Not good, but there we go. Cheers.